Before we get started, this game does contain light patterns and flashing lights that may be harmful for certain individuals, and they might show up in these clips for this video. Yo, what's going on everybody? In this video, we're going to be going over the gameplay experience for the Medium on the base model M1 Mac Mini. Spoiler, it's not great. Let's get wild. Alright, first things first, I want to point out that because I am running OBS to capture gameplay footage, my FPS drops from about 30 to about 24, close to 25-ish, when I'm not in split screen view. More on that later. So in my advanced settings, I have the Metal FX upscaling turned on, and it's set to performance. And everything else below that is either low or turned off. Basically, whatever the leftist most option is available to either turn it low, turn it off. I have it set there for a reason. When the camera is in a single view, the game runs roughly around 30 FPS for the most part, taking some dips here and there. Due to me setting everything to low, to try to maintain a good performance, I miss out on some parts where lighting and shadows sets the tone. In these next few shots, what you'll see is that there's going to be a top and bottom image where the image actually has been stretched out. This is to actually just show you the comparison between both, where I have a lot of the settings set on medium and you can see some of the details in the shadows and things like that. And on the other one, everything's kind of on the lowest setting. One of the scenes, I'm here in the kitchen and you can see the shadow casted on me on one side. On the other side, you don't see much of a shadow at all, actually, because everything is set to low. So it kind of sucks that I have to turn some of this off. Another example is this red room up here in this corner. On one side, you can kind of see like this is clearly a red room in here. And for people that know how to, develop photography and photos and things like that, you need a red room to do that. On the other side of the screen, you can see that, well, it's really kind of hard to make out what this room would be. So once again, it's just a bummer that I can't actually see those. It really helps with the tone and the environment, the atmosphere and all that stuff. So I wanted to call that out, is that this is something you're going to miss out on. And another scene, you kind of get this here and there throughout, because this is a horror game. So having areas where there's low light is kind of an important piece of the game overall. Another example here is going to be this scene where there's this kind of shadowy figure. Due to the lights being turned off, there is some kind of power outage, some kind of power surge in the game. And while walking through this room, you can see up the staircase here, there is this shadowy figure, and on one side you can see it's prominent that this is something scary, right? We don't know what that is. It's freaky. But on the other side, it's very light. It's it's hard to see, and it just sucks overall when trying to deliver that experience to the viewer. Once again, it's just having to do with having a device that just isn't capable enough to maintain a good solid FPS throughout the whole game and deliver great quality. Now with my Mac Mini, I did expect to play AAA titles with the lowest settings turned on. I'm well aware that this first gen M1 wasn't really designed to hit 60 FPS, and it's kind of better for light editing and web browsing, not so much for heavy gaming. Now, what I didn't expect is for this to take a huge FPS drop when I get into what's called a split screen view. So just to back it up here just a little bit, one of the main things of this game is that the protagonist can walk between worlds, the living and the dead. And to show this in game, the developers designed this game to where your character's perspective is split between worlds. This is where we have an issue, because this Mac doesn't have enough resources to maintain 30 FPS. It leads to dropped frames, which lead about 15 to 10 FPS. Keep in mind what you're seeing on screen is due to OBS running in the background while recording, but I am seeing a huge drop going from anywhere with 25 to 30 frames to 15 to 10 when I get into the split screen view. Now keep in mind, you're not always in the split screen view. Sometimes you switch worlds in full screen, just depends on the scenario, depends on how the game is supposed to be played during that scene. So you can have this, somewhat of a decent experience, but every time you get into the split mode, it really sucks trying to play this game. So that's kind of it. You may want to rethink getting this game if you do have the same M1 Mac Mini with only 8 gigabytes of RAM. I will say personally for me, I kind of got pulled into the story very early on, so I'm probably going to get this on GeForce Now and just start playing it there. Since I already bought it on Steam, I can just go ahead and load up GeForce Now, which is a cloud streaming service by NVIDIA, and continue playing it that way. But yeah, that's all for the video. It is kind of short. Just wanted to show off what you would experience if you have the same Mac as I do. So leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay wild. Later.